Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live. We're doing another results incubator, and it's an opportunity where you get to hear from one of my amazing clients and see how what they're doing to create amazing success in their life and their business. You'll get to step inside of their mindset because sometimes it's really helpful when someone's having success to understand what is it that they're doing that's different than you. I think that's a really powerful question. A lot of times people like to think about what they're doing that has likeness, but one of the most powerful things I've ever done is look at what is it that they're doing, someone's doing that I'm not doing, their mindset, their habits, their beliefs, their actions, their investments. We're going to talk about all of those things today. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I started my company over 20 years ago, and I simply made a decision because that's what it takes to change your life. I wanted to figure out how could I work from the comfort of my home or anywhere that I chose. And I wasn't really sure what to do when I got started. I'm like so many of the women that I've supported. I didn't have a product. I didn't have a package. I didn't have a service. And I also didn't have the understanding that I was the package. I love you too. And I wanted to figure out how could I take my years as a corporate trainer, my experience, my professional experience, my life experience, which I call a soft skill, and package it and monetize it. And maybe you've had the exact same thought. But equally, I was wondering how could I build a business where I could work from anywhere, from the comfort of my home or anywhere that I chose to around the world, that I could create my own hours, that I could renegotiate the way that I worked. And maybe you've been asking yourself the exact question. We're going to talk about that tonight. And the last thing that I wanted to know, hey there, darling, was I wanted to figure out how could I build a business where I wasn't going to trade time for dollars any longer. I was over it. If you're salaried or if you earn like 200 or 250 an hour or whatever it is for you as a professional, I just couldn't figure out how to not have a cap on my earnings. And I knew I was just way too smart to be living that life. And I have an amazing guest tonight. So you guys are so fortunate to be here. It's one of my clients, Amanda. And Amanda, do you know what I'm going to ask you tonight?
No, I do not.
Okay.
You didn't share with me.
That's the fun part. I'm going to have a conversation with her. And I think the best way to have a conversation with your clients is an authentic conversation where she gets to share what is it that she's doing that's working, and also just her mindset and her belief systems that have allowed her to step into her dream. So before we get started, Amanda, I would love for you to share with our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Thank you so much, Mia. Thank you so much. Mia is always saying she's excited to be here, and I'm excited to be here. Just seeing you and seeing everything that you have done. My name is Amanda Goring. I am a luxury travel consultant with InStyle Travel. I am the guru of retreats and mastermind. We curate and we package and we put it together for you. So you don't have to do a thing as a small business, as an entrepreneur. Retreats are amazing, and that's what we give you. Hassle free. I'm super excited to be here. We book travels around the world. We book luxury trips around the world for families, small businesses, and healthcare entrepreneurs. So, Mia, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored. I'm really honored to be
I'm
here.
honored, and you're a mom and you're a wife and your children are young, isn't that right? How
Yes,
old are your children?
9 and 6.
So we're going to especially talk to these moms out here who sometimes feel like they cannot start a business or invest in themselves at the highest level because they're a mom or because their
Hmm.
children are young and they don't
Yes.
step into their dream. So my first question for you is, how did you overcome that thought process? Because when I met you, you were green on go from day one. So what allows you to be able to step into showing up for yourself at the highest and tallest level?
Yes. So, my support system. My support system is amazing. Now, one thing that really drew Mia to me that I'm going to share with you guys tonight is that the first time I saw Mia online, okay, it was online. I have been praying for more, and Mia mentioned something about her husband being sick and how she stepped into the game to help her household and to help her family and to help him get, the necessary care that he needed. I was like, wow, I love my husband just like Mia loves her husband. And how she was able to, how did she step into her purpose to be able to provide for her household while the husband was recovering? That caught me. So my support system is my husband. So that's what made me like resonated also with me. Me myself and having children. Mia doesn't have little ones, but I do have a 9-year old and a 6-year old. No, she's 7 now. She's 7 yesterday. So let me
Oh,
let me correct myself and say she's 7 because I'm gonna get in trouble for saying she's 6. But yes, but I've always wanted to support everyone around me. And so, me having that support from them as well at the same time, my support system gets me going every day. If you have that around you and they believe in you, and even if no matter what you're doing, even if you're going wrong, if they believe in you, that means everything. And
and
that gets me going.
and sometimes you have to believe in yourself. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I know for me, I came up with this idea to be a mom coach, and no one knew what that was. And there really wasn't a whole lot of people to applaud the idea because they didn't know what it was. But
Yeah.
I had to clap for myself, support
Yes.
myself,
Yes.
in the beginning, do self talk, with
Yes.
myself to say, you can do this. And
Yes.
I love that. Now, you professionally, what is your professional background?
So I am a pharmacist by trade. I'm doctor of pharmacy. So I have my PharmD degree, 6 years of education. Okay. And it's exciting. I have practiced for 17 years and I decided it was time to do what I have always been passionate about. So
Yes.
being a pharmacist is my trade.
Yes. So you're a pharmacist by trade, and then you had this passion for luxury travel,
Yes.
and then you decided to step into that. So how did that passion, how did you decide, like, I want to take my passion and I want to make it a business? Like, you didn't make it a hobby, you made it a business. How did that switch come on for you?
Okay. That's a great question. And I always loved being asked this question, like, how did you decide? So all the way back in college, like, growing up, my parents would travel, but never really, did the extravagant. It was always to like a short distance or 4 hours, and we would just drive road trip. By the way, I'm the baby of 10. So everywhere we go, I was okay. Everyone was like, being great because it was just us. But we had some neighbors that actually traveled luxury, and they looked like me, right? And there were some that did not look like me. And it seems like theirs were very extravagant. So my question to my mom was, how are we not able to do these cruises and all these things? And she goes, because we are 10 and because I have to make sure that everybody is okay and we can afford that right now. So that became a passion for me growing up as a little child. I wanted to do something more than my neighbors were doing. Now, in a good way, not to brag, but in a good way because I was like, if they can do it, I can do it also. So in college, we started traveling. I met my husband in school. So he believed in travel too. So we started traveling together, but we were using our student loans to travel. I'm not telling anyone to go do that, but that's what we were doing at the time. And I always felt like there was more to travel than just picking up your bags and going there, the experience. When we traveled, we wanted the experience. And so luxury travel came about because I remember that we traveled luxury one time, right? It was a graduation present that we got.
Where did
And
you go?
we went to Italy, Venice, and it was more with the gondola and like this singing on the gondola while you guys are sharing champagne. And I'm like, this is different from what I'm used to. This is what I need people to be on. This is what brings the experience. Now, I never forget that trip because it brought tears to my eye. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. When you 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 don't know about something, right? But you've always wanted it in your head, and you reach there, and you are like, "This is it. This is it." Like you can put your finger on it and say, "This is what I'm looking for." So my excitement, and I looked at my husband, my boyfriend at the time, and I said, "Are you ready for us to do this most majority of the time?" And he goes, "Yes." Yes, I am. And I knew I was a pharmacist then, and he was a pharmacist too. He is still a pharmacist, but we told ourselves that's exactly what we're gonna do. And we're gonna bring that same experience to other people. Now, that was my dream. It wasn't his dream to bring that experience to other people. So that was my dream. And I started it out 5, 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, and I've never looked back.
So when I met you, which was a year ago, it's been a year,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And when I met you, you were running your business,
yes,
and then we had the opportunity to. You came to the Giant Experience Master Training,
yes.
and I believe when I met you, I was traveling a little bit,
Okay.
and we had an opportunity to connect.
Yes,
And from there, you signed up for the Giant Experience, and from there are clients who implement, and then there are clients who implement, and you're like in that fast lane of implementation, and you were just ready from the very beginning to understand how could you take your passion and a business that you had already started and to lay a different level of process structure, understand how to value what you were doing completely differently, and right out the gate you really started to create results. So tell us a little bit about that shift. How were you running your business before, and then how are you running your business currently?
yes. All right. So as I've always been so passionate about travel, as I explained before. But what brought it to the next level was I wanted to start making it my trade. I wanted to start making it my business because I knew I wanted something for me, and I wanted something for me to not clock in and out, clock in and clock out every day, for somebody to tell me when to go to lunch, for somebody to, tell me what to do. I mean, it's okay for somebody to tell you what to do, but Amanda, when it came to me telling me what to do was a little bit harder. Now I can listen to instructions, like my listen to my coach, because I know it's going to help me in the long run. However, I've always had the passion to own something for myself. And I saw my parents owning businesses and stuff, and they never really worked out because they were so given, and they thought the business was about giving. It's okay to give, sell it to family members and give. So I was like, how am I going to do this and win? Like, I really want to win. And I wanted to make more than I was making as a pharmacist. But when I met Mia, before I met Mia, I was selling the package that I had. I knew it was luxury. I knew what I had. I knew what was behind it, but I did not know how to sell it. I did not know and I remember clearly that when I met Mia, I had I had just finished a retreat for nurse entrepreneurs, and I sold that whole package that I packaged. I sold it for 9.99, not 1,000, not 9.99 like 10,000. No, anytime Mia says it, I love. But you know what? That is my truth. At the time, I thought I was good doing something great.
Right.
But when I met Mia, and the first time she said, "I'm going to teach you how to package your talent and what you got, in your business. And I'm going to show you your talent. You don't have to even know what you got. Even if you don't know what you have, it will come out." And she said that, and I'm like, wow, who's this person? I shut the computer off. Next day, I turn it on. She comes on again. And then the next day, she comes on again. And I said, there is something this lady has that I need to reach out, because she looked like me. She had made it. And I always decided that I was going to be in a room where people have made more than I'm making. I wasn't going to be in a room with people, and don't get me wrong, I wanted to be in a room with people that are giants. As the first time I heard it, I was like, she said giants? I am a giant. I need
You
to
are.
I need to find out what this group is. I need to find out what this community is. I need to find out. So that's when I think about DM Mia, and Mia DM'd me back, and I'm like, oh, and she responded, so she's real. She's so Mia DM'd me back, and I knew the very first time that it was going to be good. Now, when I attended the class, I couldn't wait for the class to start, to begin, because I knew there was more. Because she gave us an access to all the videos and everything that she has. So as I was listening to those retreats that they've had in the past, and I looked at the people, and everybody seemed excited, and everybody was so into it. That's the group I wanted. That is where I wanted to be. So attending the Giants program, the Giants, I was like, I am ready. I
Well,
am
you
ready.
attended online. So I
Yes,
think it's interesting because you signed up, COVID was still happening.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
And I host the master training online.
yes,
And you attended online because a lot of
yes,
times people think if it's online, they're not going to have the connection or deep connections with the community. But it's just not true because of the kind of women that I work with. And what I loved about what you were doing is that you were delivering and are delivering an amazing product for anyone that wants to create a retreat, a high level retreat. The challenge was that you had one standard price. You didn't know how to value based on all the things that you were doing. And so while you were getting paid, you weren't properly being compensated for the value that you were bringing to the table. And so being able to go to the Giant Experience, you were able to step in and understand for yourself, like maybe for the first time, like there's another level of how I could be charging based on what I'm really giving my clients.
right,
And I love that about you. And then like right away, you just started to implement. And I think that what's interesting to me is sometimes what we talk about or what I might suggest for a client is radical. Like if you've been charging $1,000 for what you do for everyone, right? And then we come up with a model that's much more than that. Clients have a couple of choices. I mean, you have to have the mindset and the belief to step into it and ask for what you deserve once you understand it. But not everyone can do it because of their own esteem. But you did. So if you don't mind, whatever you're comfortable with, citing a clear example of like, I was charging this and then my very first, sale that, blew you away, right, of what you charge, or not your first sale, but just one of many because you've done so many. And that how were you able to make that switch for yourself so quickly? Because people think it has to take 1 year to create results, or it has to take, and let's be clear, Amanda, there's so many shiny objects online. There's so many people that say, I'll help you make six figures in
yeah.
3 months, in 6 months, and it doesn't happen. But how is it that you were able to monetize quickly? What did you do? What happened?
Okay. So the number one thing that I would say that means so much to me is being true to yourself. You
Yes.
mentioned being authentic.
Yes.
And you mentioned how you brought about before you even stepped into your purpose, what you did as a mom. Everybody thought your product was crazy,
Yeah.
or for lack of a better word, everybody thought, what are
Yeah.
you thinking? Like, you're not going to get. But I was like, wow, like, I'm thinking my luxury idea, nobody around me wants it. Like, it's, everybody come, oh, it's so expensive, oh no. So I did not even have the clientele to
Right.
even sell my products to. Okay, because everybody around me, I was trying to sell my product to everybody around me, thinking that that's my comfort zone. When I met Mia
Yeah.
said, your clientele is not what you have right now. Your packaging, being true to yourself and being authentic to yourself, is
Yes.
the first and foremost. And she was true to herself. So I was
Yes.
like, if she was true to herself and she won big, I mean big, I can do it too. So that
Yes.
is the number one light bulb that went off for me, because at the time I met her, I was about to still decrease my prices. Already, it was already low. 997 was very low. So I was about to do, but she said, be true to yourself. Stand in your truth. Be able to stand in your truth, stand as a giant. And I love that word, being a giant, because it made me feel stronger. It made me feel awakened. It awoken me. And I
Yes.
started waking up in the morning knowing that my clientele is out there. My clients are out there. I
Yes.
should get out of my comfort zone. So getting
Yes.
out of my comfort zone was what helped me to really go above and beyond, and start going beyond my borders, beyond my comfort zone around here, and looking for people that are ready to also take their next level in a giant move. And
Yes.
those people I have met. And right away I sold a retreat. We came up with Mia, and all of us came up with a 15% rule that I'm not going to share.
Yeah.
If you want a 15% rule, you need to get into the giant program. It
Yeah.
worked out perfect. I was able to, do that retreat. And then from there, I had a travel that, instead of me charging $1,500, $3,000, it was 7,500 travel
So
per
wait a minute.
person.
So you were charging 997,
Yes.
997, and
Hmm.
one of your first big ahas
Yeah.
in terms of your sales
Yeah.
is that you sold something for 7,500.
Yes.
And because and the only reason you didn't sell before was because one, you were looking at the wrong client.
Mm-hmm.
Two, likely you didn't have the accountability and the model, right?
Yes.
And you were then able to have that conversation because you understood the value. Some
Yes.
people are undervaluing what they do, and because they just don't simply know how to price what
Yes.
they're doing. And I love that you shared this because there are people listening right now that are thinking, why am I charging this? And they can't figure out how to get out of it. Is the giant experience for
Yes.
me? Is it going to take me 6 months, 9 months for me to be able to do this? But it didn't take you that long to do that.
Mm-mm. Yes, it did not. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to add this, that I think it was also just being authentic, and to
Yes.
hear you say
Yeah.
that you can do it. I believe in you. I
Yeah.
mean, Mia became like my number one cheerleader. She's like, I believe in you. You can do it, Amanda.
That's
You
correct.
got it. You got it. So the encouragement and just you believing in yourself and standing in your truth and being who you are.
Yes.
It doesn't, doing luxury doesn't have to be changing yourself or changing the way you speak
Yes.
or
That's
changing
right.
anything about you. Be
Yes.
who you are. Be the
That's right.
Amanda you are, and
That's
stand in
correct.
your truth.
I love this. And I know that, isn't this great, guys? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? I love this because what we know is that in the marketplace, people wonder, is there room for me? Is the market saturated? There are so many people in the marketplace that think in order to be successful, you got to copy, you got to duplicate, you got to do it exactly the same way, you got to say it exactly the same way. And I teach my clients, no, you just need to be yourself. Your ideal clients want to work with you because you're you. I work with people because they want to work with someone that loves family and that enjoys dating their kids and their spouse and themselves, that enjoys traveling from the comfort of their home. That I didn't have all of the answers when I got started, but I began where I was and I started to put a structure and a value around what I was doing and created, a great business. And you can start from where you are. Mindset. So let's just talk about your belief system, because you could have a great system, you could have a great product, but if you don't have a mindset, then nothing happens. It means that each and every time, each and every month, each and every year, you say, I'm going to, I should have, I would have, I'm coming, and nothing happens. What allows you to say yes and then figure it out?
Absolutely. So you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna have to want it. You're
Yeah.
gonna, whatever you are passionate about, you're gonna have to want it. You're gonna have to stop looking around you, because
Yeah.
mindset starts from here. It
Yeah.
starts from up here, how you view yourself from head to toe.
Yeah.
Now, am I making giant moves enough for me to believe in myself? It starts with your mind, your whatever, however you view yourself when you wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I have something written up there saying, wake up every morning with a thought that something amazing is going to happen. Okay. So if you have your mindset set on exactly what you're going to do that day, something amazing is going to happen. You don't need for anybody to come to you and tell you, I believe in you so you can do it today. No, you tell yourself,
Yeah.
I
That's right.
believe in me. I
Yes.
am doing this today. And you know what? Today is the day the Lord has made. I have every right to make my moves. And something good is going to happen. I believe in God. So every morning I do my
Yes.
meditation, I pray, and I walk out there like the giant I'm supposed to be. That is my mindset. I had
Yes.
to change my mindset for me to be where I am today. And where
Yes.
I am today is exciting because I had to change my mindset. I had to change how I view my product. I
Yeah.
had to change how, like, I will give you an example. somebody had called me and wanted to do a consultation with me. And I charge for my consultation now. I do. I wasn't charging before. Before I was giving it away for free. Who wants to talk to me? Okay, I'll get you on the phone with you. 2 hours, we chit chatting. No, but Mia, the training and everything changes your mindset as you are around the other giants and everybody is talking about the experience. It changed my mindset because when I came, I thought I had a great mindset, but there were still things I had to learn, and I
Yeah.
had to learn from, Chief Giant. And I had to learn from the other giants. And as everybody speaking in a grand, in a grand way, I said,
Yes.
"Wow, you know what? I fit in here. This is where I need to be.
Yeah.
I'm in the right community because everyone's mindset is not, I'm trying. I'm trying to do no, no, no. Mia said, absolutely not. No, you ain't trying to do, oh no, you're not struggling. We don't use those words. You are struggling. No, you are doing it. Say you are doing it. It all begins from the mindset. So once you get yourself from that position to a state where you are saying, today I did this. I have done this. This is my plan. I'm executing this. I'm doing that. That is what helps you. And that's what helped me big time. When I woke up in the morning, I said, okay, today I have 3 goals. And those goals have to be monetizing goals. And so if they are not making me money, I'm not doing it. So that consultation I was explaining about, I did not do it because the person said, well, then I don't think I will be able to do it. I said, okay, that's fine. But that's who I have become.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I have become because of my mindset. Nothing is going to be for free because my talent, as Mia puts it, can definitely bring me to my next level. And so whatever,
And the reality is that you're adding value to others,
yes,
and that you should be properly compensated for what it is that you do. I mean, there are opportunities to give. I mean, we get to choose our charity. And unfortunately, so many entrepreneurs set up their business and they make their business a charity. I have a question inside of our community because you signed up for the Giant Experience, our master training, and then you signed up for the Giant Circle. And I'm curious because that community is incredible. What is one story or something that you heard inside of the Giant Circle, and somebody's story that inspired you the most? Was there someone that you heard right away and you were like, this person is exactly what I needed to hear to know that it's possible? Because I know that, obviously me being the coach, the mentor in the community is inspiring, but I also think it's so powerful being in community with people your own ambition level and above. Who was that for you? And you don't have to say their first and last name,
okay.
and you can just give a general sum of their, summarization of what it was.
Yes. Okay. So I have been always been wanting to work my business from any part of the world.
Yeah.
Anywhere I am, be able to, bring my business with me on the plane, or you book your first class and you sit there and you work on the plane, and you can be on the beach and still, be able to access everything. And that has always been an amazing passion that I have. And of course, Mia is doing just that because she talked to me the first time from Puerto Rico, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that's what I want. But I believe Dr.
Yeah.
Hilda
Hmm.
is actually moving from where she is now to that really touched me. I mean, she is going to be working from any part of the world. And I don't know the details, but that story moved me because of before she met Mia, that was the plan, but now she's executing the plan. And it's amazing to come from, somewhere that you did not even think you were going to even make it, but then you get to the stage where your mindset has made you this big person, and then you're executing all the plans that you got, and then now you are actually doing it. It's like learning to fly. You learn step by step, and then you realize you are in the sky, like you flying, or whatever example, better example that there is. But it's amazing to see somebody do it. So Dr. Hilda's story is what really touched me, and I can't wait. I'm already doing that, but I can't wait to just go for 6 months with my family. Since we
Yes.
all travel together with my young ones, we all travel together. I can't wait for all of us to travel 6 months out of the country, still working, still Dubai. Dubai is going to be where I'm going to go first. 6 months in Dubai, and my young ones will be having school there. That's a goal. That's a goal. It hasn't happened yet. It is going to happen though. But that is the goal. But that is the story that really. And so the next time you guys hear from me, I'll be in Dubai for 6 months, and I'll let you guys.
So I love what you're saying because we definitely have the ability. I've seen so many clients get themselves free and stay free. I love watching and supporting clients to help them renegotiate the way they earn. I love the fact that we all resonate with who we resonate with, and there's so many stories in the community. But I always think it's important to know like who inspired you, and that's why being in community with people your own ambition level and above is so powerful because you're watching someone else step into their dream and watch them do it. And you realize this is absolutely possible. It's not a wish. It's not a want. It's not a hope. You know what I mean? It's not a pipe dream. And it's not a false marketing strategy where I'm saying, hey, I do all these things. And it's not true. You get to see these people, real people, watch them as they build their business, set up their models. You doing the same. You're inspiration for others as well. And step into it for yourself. And I think one of the things that was cool, and you correct me if I get this wrong, was that you also were able to reduce your hours as a pharmacist. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. I remember when I met Mia, and I always go back to when I met Mia because I was super, super excited that I met somebody that was doing exactly what I wanted. And so it was my goal, and it's still my goal to complete. And I love being a pharmacist. I love helping my patients, and I still enjoy being a pharmacist. However, it's not my passion. And my passion, there's a difference between loving what you do and passion. You're passionate about something. I'm passionate about my business and my travel and just bringing that experience to my clientele and to, retreat, amazing retreat. And I really thought, I can't do pharmacy for the rest of my life. I want to be on that yacht. I want to be somewhere else with my peeps. This is what I want to do. And so as I started growing, my mindset, as we were discussing before, changed. And I said,
Mhm.
and Mia's mentioned something about the living dollar for dollar. And you know what? One thing that really helped me was my company, and I'm not saying names of any company. If you know who I work for, then you already know. But they actually, I did not receive a raise. Okay, the raise was capped out. 17 years, I was capped out. And when they told me that, I was like, this is it. I could never make my $1 million with this. I am not. No matter how much you make, it's not your money. It's not
Mhm.
yours. And so you are capped out. There is a cap on you. And Mia mentioned, why would you want to live your life with a cap? And I was like, that was the word. And
Yes.
so when they told me, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I had to dig deep down my heart and say, you
Mhm.
know what? I want my business to go to another level. I want it to go to another level. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And whatever it takes came more quicker than I thought because of the people I surrounded myself with, because of the
Yes.
coaching program that I walked into. My purpose that I saw 10 years to come became a purpose in a year.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so I was able to say, I am no longer doing this full time.
Yeah.
I am sorry. And I'm not going to lie to you. They came back to me and offered me more, but nothing could stop this roller coaster from going. Nothing could stop this giant. So I said, absolutely not. I thank you very much, but I'm going to keep dreaming because I know where I had come
Yeah.
from and I know where I was going. I know where I was at. It was better
Mhm.
than I was. And my
Yes.
mindset was better than I was. It
That's right.
wasn't just about the money. It
Yeah.
was about me not clocking in and out. It was about
Yes.
me not living dollar for dollar. And
Yeah.
I know that I was going from somewhere to
Yeah.
somewhere. So nothing is going to stop me from
Yeah.
achieving that. And that's the road I'm walking on.
Yeah. I love that. And in the same token, you also built a profitable business.
Yes.
And so you can have all of those things. You can have a profitable business. You don't have to trade time for dollars.
Yes.
You can do work that you absolutely enjoy and and be compensated for the value and the transformation that you create in this world. And yes, you can be authentic. And the coolest thing is, it's easy to be happy when you get to show up for the things that matter the most for you.
Yes.
You can make all the money in the world, but if you don't have time to for the things that matter the most, then what do you really have? It's like you're broke at a higher level. And I think that's really important. I try to challenge the women who follow me. I work with a lot of very smart, sharp women, everybody here,
Yes.
and getting this part. And how do you find the courage? I mean, here it is. You are a doctor, PharmD, and you have made it. Okay. And then making that shift. And obviously you have professional peers who you love and respect. And now you say, hey, I'm going to be a travel consultant and do this. And more importantly, you're married to a pharmacist as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So what did your husband say initially when you made this decision? Obviously we call him Mr.
Mr.
G.
G.
What did Mr. G say, initially? Like, I know he's very supportive of you, but spouses have transitions also that they have to make as we step into that vision that hasn't realized yet. What was that like for you with your
Yes.
husband, with your friends?
Yes. So, well, with I will start with my friends, because when it comes to Mr. G, I could talk all day. But my friends are like, "What are you doing?" I mean, Mia, you have no idea, and fellow giants and everybody on here, how people will call you. What are you doing? Like, what we want to do the same thing too. Like, they were excited for me, but they were questioning, what is
Yeah,
Amanda doing? I mean, are you making the income that you were making before? Are you there yet? What did you do? Like, what is the process? I have had people contact me and ask me how I transitioned
yeah.
from that place to the next. Now, that could be another coaching program, but I was like,
That's right. That's right.
but I knew that everybody out there is looking. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody's searching for that
Yes.
peace. And most
Yes.
of them do not even know how to get there. So that's why they were
Yes.
asking.
That's
And
right.
my husband, it's amazing to have a supportive husband. That's
Yes.
my number one thing.
Yes.
And even though he couldn't see where I was going,
Yeah.
everybody has a different dream.
That's
Okay.
right.
A dream, you could be on the same bed with your partner, your
Yeah.
spouse, but you may have a different calling. And I
Yes.
always knew my calling and
Yeah.
my passion was very different. He'll follow along because Amanda's going, the girls are going. I'll follow along. Baby, what can I do to help? You pack the bags and everything. He did not know the exact what the dream was, but he believed that when I spoke, there was passion behind the things I
Yeah.
would say, and there was like energy, and there was like excitement. So he saw it in my eye.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a partner that sees now, and I know Mr. Pat has the same thing for me because
Yeah.
I know
That's
has
right.
Pat so many times. And when I will go to all these resorts, usually when we travel, I network. He's like, I'll keep the girls. You can go and do your interview. I'll do this. Like, he's been supportive. And I remember the first time I told him about me and how I met me, and he goes, but you don't know her. I said, but I know the words she's saying. The words that she's saying is exactly what I believe. It's exactly what I've been saying for years. And he goes, well, let's give it a shot. So, talking about my husband has always been supportive. However, I did not even need to contact him or to consult him about my passion and my dream. All I know was that even if he didn't understand, that was okay. But the decision has to be made because he is appreciating the extra income that is coming in. Okay, the amazing trips that we are able to go on to network and for our children to be able to experience the world and the culture. He is loving it. And he always says, baby, I did not see where you were going, but I was going to go with it anyways. That is the support that I had. Everybody is different. However, one advice that I would share out there is not everybody around you has to understand.
Yes. That's
Not
good.
everybody around you has to have the same, has to see what you see.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see things that nobody will see, nobody around you will see.
Yes.
And I heard that from Mia because she said she went to so many people and they thought her idea was out of this world.
That's
And
right.
that's what really came to my mind and said, nobody has to understand. It's
Yeah,
yours.
that's
So
right.
you believe in yourself and keep it moving. There are people who will come along. Those that don't believe in it, they will come along and ask you, how did you do it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a wonderful, and now I'm talking to my little girl, and she always want to be a fashion designer. Now she said, "Mommy, I want to include travel consulting to my fashion designing because she's seen me do it."
yeah,
And so for me, if I never see anything, the legacy that you leave behind,
yeah,
children to see you being authentic to yourself, you being true
yes,
to yourself, you are
yeah,
standing in your purpose, you are talking about it, you are showing up for yourself,
that's right.
you are just showing up and being consistent. Now, Mia can tell you whatever she wants, but you got to show up and do the work
Yeah, that's
because
right.
there's nothing like a poof that comes out of nowhere. You have to show up, you
That's
have
right.
to do the work, and you have to be authentic. Not there's nothing like, oh, somebody else is doing this because I have paid for other things. And I'm manifesting now because
Yes.
there are other things out there, and there's the true programs out there that, I am testifying to this today. And so I'm amazed at how even my little girl is really admiring the fact that she wants to be a travel consultant, which I'm excited about because this is a family business and it's a legacy that we're gonna do for the rest of our lives.
So I think there are two things, and then I want for our viewers, if you have a question for Amanda, you can post your question here. There are two things I want to ask you. One, um, since August, since I've known you, would name two or three places that you've gone that have been awesome. And then I also know that you were planning an incredible trip this year to it's to Tahiti, isn't that right?
No, to Thailand.
To
Thailand.
Thailand,
Yes,
okay?
yes,
To Thailand. So I would love to hear about that, and I'm sure our viewers would love to hear that as well.
yes, absolutely. So before, for the times that you've met me, we have been in Maldives. So we were in the Maldives in December. Now every December, our travel business does a huge trip to one of the amazing, luxurious places. And so we put it together. Before, we never brought anybody along, but now we are trying to bring people along because I'm tired of people saying, "Why didn't you take us? Why didn't you take
It
us?"
looked amazing.
Yes, so we were in the Maldives and we have been to Dubai, three amazing places. And the third one that we have been that nobody knows. Sometimes you don't know about the gem of this world. If you watch the news and you watch what is online, sometimes you don't even know until you talk to my business because Guatemala. Guatemala, there's a place in Guatemala called Lake Atitlan. Lake Atitlan is one of the places that, oh my goodness, you see I mean, amazing. I'm like, who would have known that this is in Guatemala? And I did not know. But we had to go there to experience it ourselves. So those were the three amazing ones that we have done since we've met you. And the fourth one this year is going to be December 18th through the 23rd. It's going to Thailand and in Phuket, specifically Phuket in Thailand. We have an amazing mansion, private chef, we have a yacht, we have everything that's going to be on the daily spa. We have a yoga every morning. Whatever you need, come for your self-care. As entrepreneurs, small businesses out there, you need self-care. And I recently became a speaker on self-care too. So hey, you get everything. We travel and we talk to you about self-care. So we are
What's
incredibly
your
excited.
what's your website URL? If someone wanted to reach out to you.
Oh yes, it's InStyle Travel LLC. InStyle Travel I can type it in the chat.
Yeah, you can just type it in the chat, and then you guys could join her mailing list also, so you can get details about the upcoming trip to Thailand or any future ones. I love this because you see what passion and purpose and profit looks like. It's happiness, it's fulfillment, right? It's all the things that we talk about. Are there any questions that you have for Amanda? Does anyone have any questions for Amanda? Did you get value today? And I know that you did. This was a really great conversation, Amanda. And I appreciate more than anything, I appreciate your authenticity, your honesty, your transparency, and the fact that that's what it takes to be successful. and that I really support people in operating with high integrity models. Not one size fits everyone because we're all different, and all of my clients are different. And depending on what they do, we look at the best ways to take what they want to do and find the most profitable ways to package and leverage what they know. If you don't already know about the Giant Experience Master Training, I'm going to post the link here. The upcoming master training is this weekend. It's I can't believe I'm even saying it, June 25th and 26th. And it is an incredible event. If I say so myself, it's live coaching where you get your questions answered. For many people, it's the very first time that they've gotten answers to the biggest questions that they've had about taking their knowledge and putting it in a structure that's true to them. A lot of times you might know that you want to change, but you might not know what it looks like to take what you want to do and to package it. You might not know what a product could look like or how to redefine the service to make it more profitable. I teach you over the course of 2 days online how to take what you want to do, put it in a structure that you can monetize, how to price it, how to how to position yourself in your marketing so you get in front of the right audience, even if you don't have a list, because a lot of my clients don't have a list already, or they have the incorrect list. And then you also learn how to sell, but not in a way that's salesy, because if you're great at what you do, people want to work with you because you are amazing at what you do. And what I've found is that I don't want to work with people that are regret buyers because I've forced them to buy something that I can't deliver. At the end of the day, and you don't either. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about working with the right people who want to create results for others based on what their gifts and their passions are and what their purpose is, and that they're really amazing at being able to create results. So, what any recommendations for anyone considering the Giant Experience Master Training? And I'm not asking it from the perspective of like, I mean, just anything from the heart. And if not, then you could just pass on the question. But if someone was thinking about the Giant Experience Master Training, what would you say is something that they don't know that happens there that that I don't always communicate?
I would definitely say the support of others in the group, other giants in the group, because sometimes all you need is for the support. Everybody shares. See,
Yeah,
we are very transparent. Everybody comes there and share their flaws, but then you share your wins, and we get to share. And most of the time, I see that everyone is willing to support you. There are certain things that people may say, or somebody may have done a webinar and bring it on there, and Mia will go step by step. They will just share. Some
yeah,
people don't share their stuff
yeah,
like that. But the benefit that I saw personally, that was that everybody was willing to share. Everybody was willing to um, come in and give what they have done, so we can all see. There are so many things that you can learn. I
yeah,
came in. I don't think I knew what how to charge even using Stripe. But then me, I was like, oh, have you considered this? Have you considered? I said, oh gosh, I was not. That's why I wasn't charging right. I was using Zelle, only Zelle. But sometimes people need invoices and
yes,
all that. But those are such things that you don't think about. But then when you get in
yes,
that group of giants and everybody's sharing and everybody, so if you are out there, and I will say this from my heart, if you need women empowering each other,
yeah,
women supporting each other,
yeah,
women sharing with each other without tearing anybody down,
that's correct.
this is where you need to be, because everyone is strong, everyone has achieved something, but everyone is willing to open up and share, even though we don't know each other.
Yeah,
I mean, in the giant circle, I remember our last class. Mia did something that we all were in a circle, and and sharing about each other. Now, I never thought anybody was even looking at me when in that couple of days. But everybody picked something from the other person, and everybody shared something positive about the other. And that made me cry, because I was like, wow, like everybody was willing to say something amazing to each other. We don't tear each other down. If you are in a group right now and people don't like each other, and people are talking behind each other and DMing each other about one, quit it because it doesn't help. I
Yeah.
look forward to every Tuesday because
Yes.
that's where I get my cup to be full,
Yeah.
and then I go
Yes.
back, and then
Mhm.
I use my my energy to do other things. That's not where you're about to argue with somebody. And Mia has a step by step way where everybody gets a chance to share their stuff, and everybody Mia never rushes anybody. No, she has gives you the time to ask your questions and to just bring your knowledge, and it's just amazing to see and to be a part of.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Your perspective. I think it's really important to hear for others, so we know what's real. And and you didn't know that. Did you know what I was going to ask you
Nope.
today?
Coming from my heart with all the questions, and yeah, I did not know, but I was ready because I've experienced it. And so I'll be
So
able to speak from experience.
So Paula says, Amanda, I enjoy watching you and your family traveling the world. Me too, right? Like we all have. You guys really do it big, and it's so great watching you step inside your dream in amazing ways. I love it. And
Mhm.
you are leading from the front, and I love working with women who want to do that. We have a question, and it's from Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
And I'm starting a new business. Okay. I've worked in corporate for 30 years. Okay. And now you're starting your own business. Okay. Will you go over the steps to start the legal and administrative pieces of starting a business? Yes. I do cover that. I also talk a great deal. There's some training inside the Giant Experience as well that talks a great deal about IP, protecting your IP, particularly if you're thinking about being a coach, a consultant, a trainer, online educator, etc. And it's quite detailed, actually. I think you will get definitely what you see there on the landing page when you visit and sign up for the Giant Experience. You'll get that. But I think it's the things you get that are not there that will be almost impossible to write. It's an intimate group. You get heard. For the first time, you get your questions answered. You'll learn what you need to learn, what you came for yourself. But I think sometimes the most powerful things are the questions actually you don't know to ask. Okay, that
Mhm.
somebody else asked, and that it's exactly what you needed,
Yes.
and it helps you. Last week I was talking about licensing deals, how to do licensing deals, and it was really very powerful, for all of my clients to listen to that never thought about doing a licensing deal, and how to do it, and when to do it, and and how to approach a deal. Sometimes clients don't sell not because what they have isn't valuable. They don't sell because they don't know different ways to come at the deal. They don't know the options that are on the table. And that I'm committed to supporting clients and elevating the way they look at themselves, their knowledge, and what's available to them. Because, Angela, my background is corporate training, I know many different ways to buy and sell content at the highest levels. And I'm able to show my clients what's distinct for them. And it's not just based on one method or one strategy, because it's different. You hear every week, it's different for every single person. And clients monetize at a high level many different ways. All clients do sell high ticket products. And sometimes in order for me to get a client to step into that highest version of themselves, I have to support them with their mindset. I have to show them how to change how they see themselves. For most of us, there is a layer of money around us, and we don't see it because we're like, I'm working with these people and they don't want to buy from me. And it's like, well, don't worry with those people. What about these people over here? And holding that client accountable to their light. So hopefully that answered your question. Are there any other questions on the floor? I think I'm really for sharp, smart women for sure. Anyone that has had, significant experience, your stuff. You're a unicorn, as Lisa said last week. You know it. Like you show up in the room and things change, you create a shift. But you are trying to figure out for the very first time, how can you take all of this yummy experience and how can you get this to work for you? But here's the thing, when you're amazing at create results, you cannot start small. And that's why I don't get my clients to start small. You have to start and by standing in your value. And to do that, likely you need accountability, you need an elevated models to do it. And so we don't take a cookie cutter approach to teaching you how to build coaching, high level coaching, consulting, training, online education, licensing, etc. Some clients do television. It's just up to you in terms of what you want to do. But clients have gotten free significantly. So they've changed their practices. I have a client who's a psychiatrist. when I met her last year, she had a full practice, and now she has 10 people in that practice and has completely replaced her income as a consultant as a result of how I've showed her to leverage her knowledge in a completely different way using licensing. If you're trading time for dollars and you want to know new models, this experience is absolutely for you. Anything else that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you? Is there anything that I didn't ask you, Amanda, that you think I should have?
Where do I see myself in the next, year, or where do I see myself in 2 years?
Let
I
me see some.
definitely see myself, because when I came into the program,
Yeah.
my first was to make 1 million. It's not 1 million anymore. I want to make 10 million.
Yes.
And so my goal is to see myself and my family be happy, including Mr. G leaving
Mhm.
his 9 to 5,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all of us, traveling around the world and bringing the same experience for other families, other
Yes.
entrepreneurs, and being able to show that anything is possible. No
Yes.
matter who you are, no matter where you are from, no matter where you have been, there is still hope for you. And so
Yes.
that's where I want to be in the future, and make sure that I'm also giving out and giving back to the people that need it, or that need to understand how to also package their retreats into high ticket. Maybe become a coach.
So I wanted to look this up because I was like, well, okay, 10 million totally doable for you, right? Based
Yes,
on you charging the right amount for what it
yes,
is that you do. And
yes,
now that you have the models and you understand that, you recognize there's no limitation on what you can earn. Because see, a lot of people will hear something like that and say 10 million. That's why I pulled up my calculator. I was like, let me go through this number, right? Because literally, I mean, if you have, it's like breaking down the number of clients that you need. You don't even need that many clients, right? Like
yes,
based on what you're doing, the kind of experiences that you're providing for a client. I mean, if you have a client that, you could have a corporate client that maybe you're part of the deal. You earn 150 or $200,000 per client. This is very doable.
yes,
But a lot of times people don't know because they're not sure how to take what they're doing and put it in a model to make it profitable that way. So they'll hear like 10 million and they're like, okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, right.
yeah,
But because now you have, when you were making 997 before I met you, that is a pipe dream. Like, how am I going to get to $1 million
yes,
charging $1,000, right?
yes,
Based on how you're working. But
yes,
when you change those models, you can really see what that can look like for you and the kind of clients that are available to you.
yes,
Really, really doable. And I love that you have the belief system and you have the right models to be able to step into that. I love, love, love that. And I'm in agreement with you that that's absolutely doable for you. Thank you
thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
Paula says the giant experience in the giant circle is worth the investment. Thank you, Paula. As smart as we think we are, sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And I think sometimes when we're teaching ourselves, it is like this is the plague of the smart woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like, I'm gonna figure this out myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do this myself. And they try to piecemeal everything together so they can figure it out. And then a year goes by, another year goes by, and so it's really like almost like a disrespect for time,
Yes.
because I think that when we make a significant investment in ourselves, we save time.
Yes.
But when you don't respect time, you're like, let me just read this book, let me take this thing, let me just try to figure out myself. And it's the long route when you could take the direct route. I'm so grateful to see what happens with the women that I work with over the course of 1 year, how they change their lives simply because they made a decision they were worth it,
Yes.
and they decided to have a respect for time. And you
Yes.
know how I feel about time, right? Time
Yes.
is an asset,
Yes.
as are relationships. Relationships is a currency, and it's not something that I take lightly at all. Being in association with people, you're only your ambition level and above will change your life, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love that, yes. And then Deirdre writes, thank you, Deirdre. She's a dove. We went to high school together. Rather be a giant who captures than a lonely visionary who doesn't execute.
True.
Absolutely. Sometimes also, like if you're around other people who are executing
Yeah.
in a giant community, you can no longer believe what you trying to tell yourself was impossible.
Right.
And I think that's what's so nice about the culture that we have is you might be afraid to sell, and then you'll listen to somebody come, show up, and have sold something that you didn't even think anybody would have bought for whatever that dollar amount is, right? And it really changes you, right? Like, I mean, you've seen stories. I mean, you've seen over the course of this year people who have just done things and they've shocked themselves
Yes.
at what they are fully capable of because
Yes.
they had the accountability, because
Yes.
they had to, they had the clarity, they
Yes.
knew what to say,
Yes.
they had the structure, they had the process, and they realized it's not that hard. It's not that hard because they thought they needed a certain paperwork. They thought they needed to follow something exactly to the letter. And that's not the way I coach my clients at all. Most of my clients, it's in their heads. And once I show them how to think about what they're doing and what's on the table, it's a game changer. A lot of them don't even have websites before they start to close and sell at the highest level for what they do. You don't need a website in order for you to close high ticket. You just
Right.
need to understand who the client is, how to position the offer, and how to get in front of them. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. And Amanda, I want to thank you for being so awesome. This is a great conversation. And I knew it was going to be. And it's just great watching you grow. And it's been almost a year watching you grow and watching you and your family travel the world. And the funny thing, when you were talking about what you were doing, I was thinking, she's like, yeah, we went to the Maldives. You didn't just go there. Like the experience that you guys had
Yes.
was so elevated that I was like, wow, where are they at? Where are they sleeping exactly? I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. And I love watching clients, I love when my clients do things that I've never done. I think a great coach wants their clients to exceed them. And
Yes.
I am so into that, like watching my clients have amazing experiences that are, just incredible because of the dreams they have and they've stepped into. They elevate us all. And I appreciate you for being that example in this community. And I thank you for this conversation tonight.
Thank you
Any
so
final
much.
words?
Thank you so much. I just want to tell everybody that's on here that you are deciding, you are on the fence. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. This may be your chance to step into your next level and you will never regret it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Great words. I want to thank you for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing many of you in the Giant Experience this coming weekend and have a great, amazing night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you for being here.
Thank you. Bye bye.